hearts with truth. He's the reason, you're the reason we're here. You're the reason we're singing. Open up the heaven, we want to see you. Open up the floodgates, a mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of our prayer. Your presence in this place, your glory on our face. We're looking to the sky, descending like a cloud. You're standing with us now, Lord, unveil our eyes. You're the reason we're here. You're the reason we're singing. Open up the heavens, we want to see you. Open up the floodgates, a mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of our prayer. Open, we sing, open up the heavens, we want to see you. Open up the floodgates, a mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of our prayer. Show us, show us, show us your glory. Show us your power. Show us your glory, Lord. Show us your glory. Show us your power. Show us your glory, Lord. Open up the heavens, we want to see you. Open up the floodgates, a mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of our prayer.
Welcome to Overflow High School Live. It is so good to be with you guys again this week. So we have some special guests today. So we have Caleb Merrick. we have Sam Fothergill.
Hi.
And we also have, returning this week, Kelly and Franklin. They're back with us today.
What's up?
So it is so good to have all you guys with us this week. You can let us know you're watching in the comment section there at the bottom on YouTube or Facebook, and say hi to each other and also to our leaders. And so we love to start off each week with a random question. And so the question this week is just real simple. Has anyone up here had to give themselves a haircut yet?
No,
Not yet.
Not myself.
I don't trust myself at all.
You don't trust yourself.
No.
Franklin?
I've thought about it. I haven't done it yet. I probably need to. It's getting kind of long and unruly. I'm looking like Cam over here, but other than that, I haven't physically done it yet.
You're
like
looking
you cut your
okay,
hair yourself.
actually.
I appreciate it.
So how about you guys?
My mom actually did my haircut simultaneously while watching a British dude do a YouTube tutorial on how to cut this hair. So if you think my mom did a good job, I did too. I love my mom.
That was
good.
precious.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite of Sam. I don't trust anyone in my family to cut my hair. So, yeah.
So we're going to expect to see like a long beard and like just really shaggy hair going forward, right?
I mean,
It's a look for Cam.
So something else that's really exciting this week, guys, is there's some sports this week. Some real sports. Do you guys know what it is?
Nope.
Oh.
It's the NFL draft. It's tomorrow evening. Do you guys care about that?
No.
Not
I heard
really.
that they're going to play like previously recorded boos as Roger Goodell walks on.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
I'm being serious.
I would
Like
love
it's
that.
like a charity something.
I'm sure in Philadelphia that's already happening. They're planning that. So that'll happen for sure.
Is it gonna be like a massive Zoom meeting to be like, and you got pick number 6?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, but it's actually the one time of the year where a Redskins fan is happy. They get to root for their draft pick, so it's fun. So now it's time for memes of the week. So we like to show memes that we've seen throughout the web world. So if the schools are closed for too long, the parents are going to find a vaccine before the scientists. That is
believe that.
true.
I
I
believe
can
that.
attest to that
Absolutely.
as a parent. And then they designed, do you guys hear it? They designed a new logo for the Olympics next year since they were canceled this year.
Really?
This is the new logo for the Olympics right here.
Oh my gosh.
So
Nice.
it's properly socially distanced right there. And then this one ties into our series on the book of Jonah. So whoever is supposed to go to Nineveh, just go already. All right. And then one last one. This is a great one. First time in history we can save the human race by lying in front of the TV and doing nothing. Let's not screw this up.
Absolutely.
Bet.
So yeah.
Best time of our lives.
Yes, important information for people to know. Now last week we asked you guys to send in some trick shot videos, and I think 3 of you complied. We know the rest of you guys are just so busy and don't have time to make a trick shot video, but at least 3 of you had time for this. Let's go ahead and watch who sent these in this week. Wow, that was impressive. That
Dude,
was so
how long
impressive.
did it take you to knock that water bottle off? It was like a one-shot thing? You have to do like
it was
20?
definitely not a one-shot thing.
First try.
Yeah, I lost count after like 20.
Oh, okay. Probably.
That's awesome. So we're going to play a game, and you guys need to be blindfolded. So you need to blindfold yourselves for this game. Okay. And so this is called put it on a. So we're going to put 3 items, and you guys go ahead and head over to the table over there. And we're going to put 3 little items on a cracker. Here's what happens in a quarantine like this, is you start to get low on food in your fridge, and you got to find ways to sustain yourself. And so you might go to the fridge and be like, hey, I got this, and I got this, and I got this. And that normally doesn't go on a cracker, but it will work for today. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give these guys, each one's going to get 3, I think, over the course of this little game here. And there'll be 3 items on each cracker, and you have to figure out what is on the cracker without looking at it. So let's give number 1 to Sam here.
I've never been more scared in my life.
Just so the people at home can kind of see what is on this, you can see on the screen there these different items. And he's going to eat this, and he's got to guess and figure out. He gets a point for each item correct. So,
I dipped my finger in something.
uh-oh. So go ahead and take a bite of that.
Oh, that's mustard. I know that's mustard.
And see what you can figure out on that thing.
All right, hold on. Okay.
So
Mustard
any
and
ideas?
Pickles. I can taste the pickles.
You said pickles,
Mustard.
mustard.
What's on the bottom? Peanut butter.
All right. So you got 2 of those correct. So it is peanut butter, pickle, and ketchup.
Ketchup.
So you get 2 points. So track your own score there. Number 2 is going to go to Caleb over here, and so people at home can see what's on this cracker. Here's what he's dealing with. So here we go. Number 2. We don't know. They're all pretty even here, equal. That looks so yummy. I'm getting
I'm gonna
jealous.
be honest, it's not that bad.
Not that bad. What do you
There's
say?
like chocolate chips somewhere.
Chocolate chips? That one is correct.
Okay, I don't know. I taste cane sauce.
Cane sauce? That sounds lovely. He's gonna keep eating this thing and figure it out. What else we got on there?
Do we have cheese?
Cheese?
Okay.
So you got 2 of the 3. You're good. All right. So you got ketchup, chocolate chips, and cheese. You guys can't guess ketchup? It's like the most
I don't
basic
know.
thing.
I don't eat a lot of ketchup.
All right, number 3. So it's 2 again. It's 2 for 2. So you each have 2 points. All right. So the next one, so people at home can see what they're dealing with, is here's what we've got on round 3.
Is this a wheat thin cracker, by the way?
It is no. It's actually a saltine.
It's a salt. Yeah, it's a saltine.
We go fancy here at the Outback.
Oh, good.
He's taking a little whiff. Now you're kind of cheating. You're
Okay,
starting
all right.
to feel
I'll
around
just go
for
straight
it.
in.
It's kind of hard to eat this. I understand.
Now let's see here. There's something crunchy. Maybe a pretzel. I can definitely taste the peanut butter. Pretzel's peanut butter, and there's something in the middle.
It looks scrumptious.
Oh, that's not a pretzel. What is that? What is this?
He's gonna eat it separate. He's deconstructing the cracker.
I can't tell what that is.
So what have you said so far?
I said pretzels and peanut butter, but that's not a pretzel, so I know peanut butter.
So peanut butter.
I can't
All right.
tell what that is. All right, I give up.
You
Peanut
give
butter.
up?
I only
All right,
know peanut
You got
butter.
one right. So you got peanut butter, relish, and Cheetos.
Relish? Oh, that was a Cheeto.
Cheetos.
Wait,
Wow.
that was a Cheeto.
All right, so next one goes to Caleb, and here's what we've got on that one. Can't give it away. This is exciting stuff. These guys will not need lunch after this.
No, I'm going to McAllister's.
I taste mustard.
Mustard. Caleb likes to take a bite and then think about it, and take another bite, think about it. Uh-huh. Yep. You got that right.
I don't know. I don't know.
You get 2 right. All right, so banana slices, Kool-Aid powder, and mustard. All right, so you got 2 of the 3. All right, next one. Next one is...
Got it on my hand. Dude, it's everywhere.
All right, this is your last chance, Sam.
It's my comeback.
You got to make up some ground here because you're a point behind, I believe. All right.
This is gonna be super obvious too.
Jelly. Jelly.
You said jelly?
Oh, I got that on the tablecloth. That's my bad. Oh, that's
There you
the
go.
plate. All right. Jelly, mustard.
Here we go.
I don't even want to win anymore.
All right, you got
Jelly
orange.
and mustard.
No, it's orange slice, chocolate chips, and mustard.
Orange? Where's the
Orange
chocolate
slice.
chips?
I think maybe you missed them. They fell off. All right, last one. I think Caleb's ahead here. Round 6. Here we go. Get these guys some napkins. Man, some of this stuff is hard to
I know
eat.
that's a Cheeto.
All right, that's one. You got a Cheeto right.
Guac?
Guacamole? That's good. You got that one right. He's already won, man. You want to rub it in?
I don't know.
All right. So you got Cheetos, strawberry sauce, and guac. A nice combination. So, man, you guys did awesome. So we so appreciate you guys being willing to partake in this with us. So now you guys have it at home. You have a lot more creative ideas on what you can do for
Don't do anything.
your refrigerator combinations, if you will. So now is a time we love each week where we get to do a drawing, and technically you guys are still in this bowl, so you guys might actually win today. So we'll see. And what we're going to give away this week is, in our effort to support local businesses and restaurants, we're going to give you a gift card to a local restaurant of your choice. So not like big national chains, but you get to tell us which one you want to choose. And so the first giveaway drawing today is Mary Jo Valencia. You have won. All right. Tell us what restaurant you would like for us to get it for you. And then we're going to play another game here, and this is going to be called Screen of Lies. This is sort of a takeoff of the Tonight Show. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask Sam and Caleb, you guys come over this way. Sam, you're right here. Caleb, you're good. And then Kelly and Franklin, you guys go ahead and step up here. Kelly, you up here first. And what we're going to do is, let me head over this way. I'm going to get sort of off the middle part of the stage here. So the idea behind this game is that, so those of you at home, so you know what we're talking about, is it's called Screen of Lies. And the idea behind the game is we're going to show an image on the screen that looks very confusing. And
Judy, we're true.
and you can see it at home. And so we're going to have, so Sam and Kelly are going to go against each other. Kelly, you've got to hide your eyes right now. So don't look.
Okay.
And so here's the first item. And the idea behind the game is that Sam is going to describe to you either what we see on the screen, or he's going to lie to you and make up something totally random, and you got to figure out if he's telling the truth or lying. So here's the first thing so people at home can see it. It's a random thing, not even sure what to make of that. And then, everyone gets a look at that. And then now Sam is going to tell you about this thing. You can open your eyes now.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, get this.
Okay.
Barbie unicorn with a decapitated Barbie head that's on the horn of the unicorn. It's a purple unicorn, long flowing hair. Barbie's hair is not as flowing anymore
Okay.
like it used to.
So is like the unicorn like top half Barbie, bottom half unicorn? Is it like a whole unicorn with?
Whole unicorn, and then the unicorn horn has a decapitated Barbie head on it.
Okay.
What a
So is he
concept.
telling the truth
What
or
a
is it a lie?
concept.
She's thinking.
Because I believe that someone could Photoshop that, and like that could be something that he's giving. Do I believe that it would be bought at stores? No, because no child would buy that, or no sane child would buy that. Knowing the people that made this game for today, I'm gonna say true, that it was Photoshopped.
Say true. Okay, here we go. Let's see what it is.
Yes.
It is exactly what he said.
Kelly, you could
Wow.
definitely make that though.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to Photoshop it. You could make it.
I mean, yeah, but like, I would think that my point was that it would be bought in stores. No one would sell that.
Yeah.
Not in the.
I think
I
I
was
made
right.
that
The point was that I was right. I was right.
You're still
Hey,
going.
Kelly,
you're still
Kelly,
going.
go ahead and stay
Still
up here,
going.
and Sam, stay up here real quick because we have to have you guys go head to head again. But yeah, we're switching roles now. So Sam, you got to close your eyes.
Okay.
And you can't look. Next item is for Kelly, and she's going to describe this to you, or maybe not. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, you can open your eyes now.
Okay. So, do you remember those commercials? And it was like, cha-cha-cha-chia. It's that.
It's a chia pet.
It's a Chia Pet.
What kind of chia pet is it?
Obama.
It's an Obama chia pet.
They made a political statement.
So is he green? How long is his hair? Is it like the usual Obama length?
His hair is green because his hair is a plant. The
Well-
rest is like the clay thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like the seeds are in the
Yeah.
follicles. And
Yeah.
you just water it.
But like, how long is his hair? Is it like, because Barack Obama doesn't have long hair,
Right. Well, the Chia Pet.
but the
doesn't
chia pet has
grow-
the long hair.
No, it doesn't.
Well, then what's the point of growing it? It's like a.
It's just to watch it grow, dude. It's just for kids
You
to
know
watch
what?
it grow.
This is a lie. I want to see an Obama chia pet on the screen.
I'm not a good liar.
It is so close.
Oh, it was Homer Simpson.
Homer
So I was right. Do I
You're-
get the point?
yes,
you were right.
I'm not a good liar.
You get the point.
I'm not a good
You
liar.
get a point. She said
Wow. All right, so next up is Caleb and Franklin. All right, so this time, I think, so Caleb is going to be the one who's describing this item,
Oh, so I closed my eyes.
and Franklin has to close his eyes. All right, are you ready?
Let's do it. I can see it. I'm psychic.
All right, you got it? All right. All right, now open your eyes, Franklin. Here we go.
Franklin, so you know A Christmas Story, right?
A Christmas Story. The Christmas Story or a Christmas Story? Because there's many Christmas stories.
Like the movie The Christmas Story.
Describe it to me.
The one your parents make you watch.
My parents. I don't think you know my mom.
Okay. Well, in that movie, there's a lamp with a leg as the bottom of the.
Right. I know. I am familiar with a lamp.
Well, instead of it being a leg, it's an owl, and the owl has a slap bracelet around its neck.
A slap bracelet. What is a slap bracelet?
Like one of those bracelets that you have.
You don't have one on right now?
I don't have one on right now. Why would? Why?
That was
Why would
probably
I,
at home. Sorry.
Why would I have one on right now?
So it's an owl and it has a slap bracelet around its neck.
Yeah.
Now where's the lampshade? Is it
The lampshade's coming out of the head of the owl.
out of the head? Does it cover any of the head?
No.
This is false. Something about that is a
All
lie.
right, let's see what it is.
Dang it.
It is.
I thought the
Correct.
I thought the slap bracelet.
I
would've
thought
been-
he was going to say that it was the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. That was what I thought he was
Yeah.
going with that, but he did not. So yeah.
No, I didn't. I thought the slap bracelet was the wrong.
All right, y'all keep track of score here. I'm forgetting who's ahead already.
We each have a point.
All right, next we have. So now you guys stay up here. Franklin, you're the one describing the item, and Caleb, you can close your eyes. All right. All right, here we go. Here's the item,
Very interesting.
and you can open your eyes now. All right.
Oh gosh. So, this one. You're familiar with Star Wars?
I am very familiar with.
You know the things that they take and it's like a hilt, like of a sword, and then a light beam comes out about
mean
3.5 feet.
lightsaber?
I'm glad you're familiar with Star Wars too. I just wasn't sure. You know those things. Okay, so imagine the biggest, baddest bad guy of Star Wars, who everyone is afraid of. You know who I'm talking about? He's got a black suit on.
Yeah.
He's part robot.
Yeah.
Okay. Now imagine his head is Mickey Mouse.
You know, I feel like I've seen that before. I'm going to say true.
You guys say true?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Where have you seen that before?
So at Disney, they have a Darth Vader mask with Mickey's head. Yeah. It's
So you've seen that before, just you thought he was describing that.
yeah.
All right, so let's switch back. So we're on number 5 now. So now Sam is going to
Cody?
Sam's going to see this next item
Better win this, Sam.
and has to
That's my
describe
bad.
it.
Oh, wait. No.
No. Kelly is closing her eyes.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, Sam's describing this one to Kelly, I believe. So hopefully this is right. All right, we're good. And then you can open your eyes.
Okay, cool.
So have you ever been to a zoo?
Yes.
Like, have you ever been to the gift shop at a zoo?
Yeah,
Like insanely overpriced stuff, right?
absolutely.
But they got like those stuffed snakes.
Yeah.
So this is like a green, like it's like 2 different shades of green Like anaconda, probably. I don't know, snakes, snake people.
Sure,
You're out
anaconda.
there. I know. But like so it's just this like stuffed snake. Nothing unusual about it. It's got kind of an unusually large head. It's got a big head.
Okay.
But like, it's just a stuffed snake that you get at the zoo. But the person holding it is Superman. But not actually Superman, but like a figurine of Superman.
Oh, okay.
Don't know how big it is because like those snakes are usually pretty big. So that figurine Superman is probably about as tall as me. Like about yay high, has a stuffed snake around his neck.
Okay. Around his neck. It's not like a boa.
Well, it's like just kind of hanging over there because it's not a live snake. It's just hanging on his neck.
Oh, okay. What's Superman wearing?
He's wearing his Superman outfit.
Okay. I don't know if he was like Clark Kent in this picture. I don't know.
No.
I'm asking a very reasonable question.
He has the Superman outfit with the red cape, as usual.
Okay.
Superman.
Nothing else is going on in this picture?
No, not really. I mean, we could go in depth, but there's nothing else.
No.
What say you?
I say... false.
False. All right, here we go.
Dang it.
It is true.
Victorious.
That was pretty accurate. All right, one last one.
No,
Okay.
you still
Kelly,
there, Sam.
Sam,
Come
stay up
back here.
Now, Kelly is going to describe this, and so close your eyes, Sam. And don't peek.
No peeking.
All right, here's the next one. Oh, man.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Open your eyes.
Okay. Did your mom ever have like a garden or like flowers, anything? Did you ever work in the yard?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you're familiar with like watering cans?
I know what a watering can is.
So it's a watering can.
Okay.
But it's shaped like an elephant. And I'm really excited about it actually. I want one. It's like an elephant, and then like the trunk is the part where like the
trunk
water
is,
comes
like,
out.
the spout.
But it also has sunglasses. It has sunglasses on.
So like, are the sunglasses a part of the watering can, or are
No.
they just sitting on top of it?
They're just sitting on top of it. Like they want to spoof up this.
How does
watering
the
can.
trunk like? How is it shaped? Is it like
It's like
like that?
right. Yeah, it doesn't do. It's not like a silly straw. It doesn't do any.
No, it's just a trunk.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. It's just a pair of sunglasses, like Ray-Bans or like the ones you get at Walmart. Like what kind of sunglasses?
I'm pretty sure that they're the ones that you get at Walmart.
I'm gonna say false, because I really want to see that. Let's go.
Oh, well,
No, that she described
I
it.
was
described it
correct.
accurately.
Yeah.
I'm
you
just
got
happy
so
that
specific
exists.
on the brand of glasses that I'm not sure we even know what brand
Like
that is.
I don't know.
I'm
That's
just-
why I said Walmart.
I'm just really happy that that's a thing.
They really
So
do.
who
look
won?
like-
Dude, right? I want one.
I lost
want
track
one.
of score, so who won this?
we
I
tied,
lost
actually.
track.
I
You
got 1
tied.
point.
3-3.
Oh man, well, all right, well,
We won.
we'll find a way to break this tie. All right, guys.
we
So
We won
let's head
because
back
we
over here to the middle. So we have the really fun stuff. We get to do something that we do every week here in the Outback, and it's called announcements. Announcements. Rubbish. And so each week I've told you guys there's 3 ways you guys can connect with us. So of course YouTube, Facebook, 8 o'clock on Thursdays, and then also follow us on Instagram at the address you see on the screen. And then you can text that message there, TBC Overflow, all caps, to that number there on the screen to get updates each week. And then also we are having a way that you guys can still connect in community through Zoom meetings with our leaders. And so if you're interested in being a part of that, please email me at the email address on the screen, and I will link you up with a community group leader. And then lastly, here's our new dates for Impact. We're still going to attempt this. We hope we can pull this off. We're going to do camp here at the church at the dates you see on the screen, and then also the clubs will be here at the church as well. Well, partly at the church, also out in our community as well. And the good news is only $20 for Impact this year, so that's a huge break-in price for those that are wanting to do Impact. So we'll start doing some training here shortly, and we'll keep you posted on that. And then in the meantime, we have Megan coming on up, and she's going to teach to us from the book of Jonah today. So let's go ahead and
Go,
hear what she
Megan.
has to say.
All right. Well, today we get to do something a little bit different. We're going to have discussion kind of in the middle of the talk. So I'll talk for a little bit and then we'll just discuss in between. So we are finally in the last chapter of Jonah. in the final verses. And so far with Jonah, we have seen him run from God. We've seen him be tossed overboard. We've seen him be swallowed by a whale. We see him get vomited by the whale. And then he finally decides to listen to God. And he goes to Nineveh and he preaches maybe 10 words to these people, and the entire city repents. And even the king himself calls for this national day of repentance. And so everybody turns to God. And Jonah's reaction, he should be ecstatic, right? But instead, he is mad. He is livid. And so he's mad that these people listen to him and turn to God. I mean, this prophet seriously needs to figure out his priorities. So he goes and he sets himself up on this hill to watch the city and see if maybe God will change his mind. Maybe he'll send a lightning bolt and smite them. Maybe he'll actually judge them. But he wants to see what's going to happen. So we're going to read in Jonah 4, starting in verse 6. Then the Lord God provided a leafy plant and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade to his head, to ease the discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about the plant. But at dawn the next day, God provided a worm which chewed up the plant so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that it grew faint. He wanted to die and said, "It would be better for me to die than to live." But God said to Jonah, "Is it right for you to be angry about the plant?" "It is," he said. "I am so angry, I wish I were dead." But the Lord said, "You have been concerned about this plant, though you did not tend to it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. And should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their left hand from their right, and also many animals?" So he's stationed himself outside this city to watch what's going to happen. And within a day, this plant comes over to shade him, and this worm eats it, and then it dies. And he is so depressed and upset that this plant died. So he's having this huge pity party. He's kind of like, of course the plant died now. Nothing's going my way. I mean, it's not like he just preached to an entire city and they all repented and turned to God. But no, he is pouting and he's glaring at the city and he's resenting the fact that they were forgiven. But think about it. Have you ever experienced that situation where you see somebody doing all of this horrible stuff and maybe you're not on great terms with them, and you see making all of these horrible decisions, and all of a sudden then they repent and they start making it right and they start doing the right things and they turn from it. But then you're mad because they didn't get in trouble. They got out of it. And they didn't get the judgment and the punishment that you think that they deserved. So you're mad about it. But God confronts Jonah here and he says, "You have compassion for this plant that you didn't even make grow. Why can I not have compassion for these people that I created?" And when it says they don't know their left hand from their right, it means that these people don't know any better, as in they don't know that God is what they're missing. They don't know the root of their problems, that God is what they need. And so God chooses to care about us. And so we should be quick to show compassion, even if we think it's undeserved, because we have a compassionate God. I mean, God cares no matter who you are or what you've done. He chooses for his heart to be tormented over us and over sin. I mean, he could easily just leave us to perish in our own sin, in our own matter. But instead, in Hosea 11:8, it says, "My heart recoils within me. My compassion grows warm and tender." So he voluntarily feels for us, even though if you think about it, the whole universe is no bigger than a piece of lint to God. And yet we matter. So that's my first question for you guys up here, is have you ever struggled with showing compassion on someone, and what happened if so?
If I'm being honest, it's hard like all the time, you know? Like there are some people who are making decisions that, especially we as Christians really don't agree with, and they're kind of like in their own lane, and you are just like, I don't want to be with like those people. But what you really have to understand to overcome that is the same thing that Jonah didn't understand about the Ninevites, but like they really don't know what the love of God is. So you kind of have to be able to show that to them, or else they're never going to be able to know that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of like if you're in Walmart and you're like going down an aisle and like maybe someone bumps into you and like maybe you get really mad at them and just like, oh, you bumped into me, like you could clearly see that I'm right here and yet you decide to move and bump me, but it's like you don't even know what's going on in their day. Like you don't even know what they faced before they came to Walmart or before they encountered you. So like having that frame of mind is helpful. Not always easy, but helpful.
Yeah, I've definitely learned that if I distance myself and not think about too much about it, then I don't feel guilty for not caring. But that's just so not the right response because I'm just ignoring it. I'm ignoring someone's pain, or I'm ignoring the fact that someone may just need a second chance, just like we often do. So Jonah is kind of like the unforgiving servant in Matthew 18. In the parable, there's this servant who has this incredible debt, and this king asks him for it, and he pleads with him, and so he forgives the debt. But then this same guy then goes to this other guy that owes him a debt, and he forces him to pay it, but the guy can't pay it, and so he throws him in jail. So the king is really mad when he finds out, and he says this. He says, "You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. And should you not have had mercy on your fellow servant as I had mercy on you?" And so this is kind of a similar situation with Jonah that we see here, because God has been incredibly patient with Jonah. I mean, he could have given up on him when he continually turned his back on God, but instead he kept pursuing him. And even now, he's pursuing him while he's pouting and leaning on his own self-righteousness. But yet God is calmly and lovingly like talking it through and trying to help him understand. And so if God has done all that for him, why is Jonah having such a hard time letting this other city come to know God? One of the things that Jonah struggled with, among many things, is that he couldn't quite grasp how God could be compassionate and loving and yet at the same time be a just God who punishes evil. So there's this complexity to God's character that Jonah just couldn't quite piece together, because Jonah is seeing all these people do horrible stuff and sin against God, and yet he's sitting there watching and wondering why God is not punishing the evil. Well, a lot of times, I think in our culture now, we're okay. We wanting to worship a God of love. We want that. We want a God of love. But we don't want a God who judges evil or punishes the bad stuff. Why do you think that is?
I think it all kind of boils down to like how we are. Because I don't know about everyone else, but I know like simply I just don't really like to be punished for the wrong actions I do. I just don't really, it's not something that I enjoy. So I think as we like to tend to go towards things that we enjoy, and when we realize that we actually do deserve to be punished, it kind of like scares us. And we tend to run away from that. I think we can even we tend to even wish that judgment upon other people and not ourselves, which is a good thing to self-reflect on. But when it comes to how God is holy and how he is so perfect, that means that he has to be just, because he can't be in the presence of sin. And since we have all sinned, then we cannot be in the presence of God. But God wanted to love us, so he used Jesus to be what he sees when he sees us. So that makes everything just, and that makes God loving. So when you understand really what Jesus did for you, then that's kind of what really helps you understand why he's just and holy and loving and compassionate.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And what's hard is that Jonah didn't get to see that picture. I mean, if you think about all the people in the Old Testament, they don't see that. They don't understand how God's going to make that happen. How can they let evil happen, but then also forgive the evil when you're not punishing it? And thankfully, we get to see it. We get to see the full goodness of God, a God who is infinitely loving and wants to pardon everyone, and yet also infinitely just and will not let sin go unpunished. And we get to see that through Christ. I think you said it perfectly. I think sometimes it's weird for us to see big name people in the Bible fail. But I'm actually really thankful that we get to see someone like a prophet mess up, right? And not out of meanness, but I think it's a good reminder and humility that we need. Because oftentimes it just seems like there's this expectation that when you're saved, everything is just rainbows and butterflies and everything's great and I'm not going to sin anymore and it's a joy now to follow and obey God and I'm no longer going to desire to do bad things. But that's just not true. Yes, we are new creations and yes, God transforms our hearts into his image, but we are also still sinners here. And Paul even talks about being at war with himself and continually doing these things that he doesn't want to do, and yet he still does. And so that actually brings me to my next question. In Ephesians 4:22, if somebody wants to read that, I meant to ask you that. Does anybody have a Bible? Okay. But the question is, it's talking about this new life. And so my question is, what does this new life look like in a practical sense that God tells us that we have when we accept Christ? It's 4:22 through 24.
It says, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness."
So what does this new life look like for us?
That's a really big question. I think it's like easier said than done. Almost anything with the Bible is easier said than done. And as far as putting off your old self, okay, you may struggle with something that you struggled with before you came to know Christ, and that may be something that you struggle with your whole life, or that may be something struggle that just for a little bit and then you're over it and you're fine. But either way, as those struggles come, you have to consciously decide to choose Christ over anything else. And it's a constant waking up in the morning, choosing to love your parents, choosing to obey your parents, choosing to honor them, because that's your first command, is to honor God, which also means honoring your parents and doing what they tell you, to clean your room. I'm sorry, but it's needed. And so you need to obey your parents, you need to obey God. And just having that conscious mindset is hard, but it's needed, if that makes sense. Yeah.
In my school, we have a logic class, and we're actually going through Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. And my teacher, he explained one of the chapters really well. He was talking about repentance, and he said it's not just saying I'm sorry for doing what I did. It's actually putting your actions to it. So it's if that thing was causing you to stumble, put it to the side and leave it behind. And I think that's something that needs to be a reminder for all of us. If we have something or someone causing us to stumble, no matter how hard it is, I know I've had to deal with this a couple times, but we just need to put it away and leave it where it lies. And
it takes relentlessness. It takes effort on some days, especially. But it's not always going to be easy like that. And the nice thing to know is that even though things aren't going to get easier, God is still going to continue to have grace. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even in the Bible, God struggled. Jesus was tempted with every sin, and he understands whenever we go through stuff, and he's not you stink, you did this bad. But he's I love you, I understand. Let's I forgive you. Let's move on, and let's not have that again. I want to help you to not do that again. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's comfort in knowing that you're not expected to be perfect. Philippians even says, "He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." That's our goal, is eventually to be there with Christ. But our goal is not to be perfect here. Our goal is to live every day to glorify God and to be transformed more and more in his image, as in become more and more like Christ as you're growing. So we see in Jonah, we see the same war that Paul talked about. I mean, he's been a believer the whole time in the Bible. That hasn't been the question, but clearly he is struggling with understanding who God is and with what God is asking of him. I mean, he straight up was saying no to God by running away from him. So there's this battle within him between what God is telling him to do and what he actually wants to do. And yet God sees this the whole time, and it doesn't diminish how much he loves him or how patient he is or how merciful he is. And so for me, that's a comfort knowing that, yes, there are expectations for me to pursue God and only God, but there's also immense grace when we mess up or we stray or, straight up run in the other direction. So the end of this book, the entire book of Jonah, ends with a cliffhanger question, which is, why shouldn't I have compassion on these people, and shouldn't you also have this compassion? And it makes you wonder, makes you wonder what happened. Did Jonah flee again, or did he finally get it? But I think this question isn't necessarily just for Jonah. I think it's for you and I. It kind of reminds me of the story of Cat in the Hat. Did y'all read that growing up as kids? You didn't read Cat in the Hat?
No.
No.
Shame. Dr. Seuss. Okay. Well, the Cat in the Hat book, I read as a kid, and now I read it to my kids. So it's obviously the Cat in the Hat guy.
Really?
There's a cat with a hat.
Oh.
And he comes into this house, and he wreaks all sort of havoc and chaos on these two kids who are home alone. But then when the mom comes back, she's like, "What did you do today?" And then these kids are conflicted with whether they should tell the mom. And so the whole book ends with the question is, well, what would you do if your mom asked you? And so I think that's like kind of what's happening here. This question is directed at us. And it's asking, okay, well, what about you? What will you do? So basically, will you and I choose to have the same compassion that God has for his people? Even if it's undeserved, will we recognize that we are also inadequate and we also don't deserve the mercy that God has given us? So will we extend the same kind of compassion that God has extended to us? So that's the final question. So let me ask you guys, this question that leaves off, how does it impact your view of God, or how does it move you to act or not act? What does it make you think going forward?
It makes me think of prayer, honestly. And what will you do? Will you have compassion on those that mess up? And I think of my family who doesn't believe, having compassion for their souls, and not being oh, I'm saved, I'm fine, and go about my life, but wanting them to know Christ and praying for them to know Christ, and having compassion in that way, as well as acting, nice to other people, but that would be one practical step that I would take.
It's definitely a change of mindset, because if you have the same mindset that you have before Christ, after, then there's no change. And I think overall the theme kind of that it sounds like everybody's saying, and what I believe is that change has to happen whenever you come to know the Lord. And compassion is that constant changing of the mindset, because that doesn't come naturally. They deserve to be judged in our eyes because we're going to receive judgment from God, but thankfully Christ's blood covers that. And so that's something that we have to be constantly reminded on, because as soon as we're not, all of a sudden we now need blood of Christ even more, or the most. So yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to pray just as we start thinking of these things. Y'all can think about them in your groups and just more at home of maybe steps that you can take just moving forward, and how we can really have our mind wrapped around Christ and showing compassion the way that he has showed compassion to us. So I'm going to pray real quick. Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for being compassionate, God, Lord. Even if we don't understand fully your character and how you can rightly punish evil, but also love us unconditionally, I just pray that you can help us understand that, Lord, and that we get to see that full picture in Christ, because you took our punishment on yourself, Lord, giving us the chance to be freely with you. And we thank you so much for that, God, and I pray that as we are sitting at home, we can reflect on that and actually take the time to really let that sink in and spend time with you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, I get the honors of doing the next drawing giveaway.
Oh, snap.
Super exciting.
It might be you guys.
You're gonna
Who
draw the
knows?
person like.
I'm gonna draw the person.
It's like
from
Pictionary.
memory. Yes, we should
playing-
do
we're
that.
playing
You have to
awesome.
draw
That
the
will be
person.
next week.
Next week, Pictionary.
I just
Yeah.
made that
Be
decision,
looking out
Dave.
for it.
All right. This doesn't have a name.
It was
Let's
on the
blank
back.
one.
That's awkward.
This always
Why are
happens.
there even words?
All right, it's Cooper Flory. Congratulations.
Cooper, look at that. It wasn't you guys though.
We're so proud. I almost lied for you guys, but then I didn't. So, all right. Okay,
Not
guys.
bitter.
Well, that's it for this week. So we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Y'all have a great week, guys.
Turn that music up.